Who is the target user for your GPT? Right? It might be yourself. Most of the time is myself, to be honest. Like, I don't build GPTs to make money, or I don't build GPTs for people. Like, I do build for people, but most of the time is I'm the target user. As an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a father, as a tool freak, as a content creator, I think about my own use case. So I build stuff for me. But you might be building something for your SDRs. You might be building for your lead researchers. You might be building something for your marketing assistant, for your executive assistant, which I've done that previously. Or you might be building for your social media associate, which we're going to do now as well soon. So very important to think about that. What problems do they have? Right? Most of the time, the problems is not, when I say problem, everybody's like, oh, maybe they might not have a problem. Well, they do have a problem because it's difficult to come up with original content. It's difficult to be on brand voice, right? These are also problems, and that these are amazing problems that we can, reduce by having a custom GPT. What might they automate? What can they automate? Like idea generation, it can be very, very well automated, and a GPT can work wonders in that. And then you have to think about which capabilities you want your GPT to have, right? There's actually, here is 4, but normally that's 3 features, and it does 3 and 4 together. So maybe I'll make that a tiny bit bigger again. So web search, it says on the tin, it can go and scrape the web live, because everybody's like, yeah, well, Tim, GPT-4 has access till 2023 June or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. For now, top of my head, I took a lot of painkillers to be able to be here. But with web search, you can have information from today. So if you have web search on your GPT, you can ask, what's the news today in Turkey, and you'll see a lot of political things as usual. Right? If you have image generation, you'll be able to say, you've done a piece of blog or a draft, that you can say, can you give me an image? Can you give me a header? Can you give me something about that is visual? And ChatGPT, or the GPT that you will build, will tap into the image generation and will give you a visual, an image, a logo, an icon, things like that, or even a chart, right? Code evaluation and documentation retrieval, that's actually one feature, right? And that's the old code interpreter that was called even before that something else, and then it kept changing it. So that can actually evaluate code, but it can also import and I'm going to say upload, but no, import and export documents, right? So on the bottom left, you get that little, file uploading. So that's really a document retrieval piece, and that. Okay, cool. So just keep these in mind, okay, and build your little plan. Can be really just a pen and paper and say, who is it for? What is it gonna solve? What's the capabilities that you're really looking for? So then the 3 really main things inside after that is to have instructions, knowledge, and the capabilities. The capabilities, we talked about them, so I'm not going to touch upon them that much again. But instructions, the instructions is actually what we're doing today with prompting on ChatGPT, right? That first prompt that we do, that's kind of an instruction. Or if you have custom instructions on ChatGPT, on the bottom left on your settings, you can have custom instructions. That's also the type of instructions that GPTs can have. Okay. And the knowledge is the documents that you can upload for the GPT to read. Okay, you can do about 20 documents, and the documents, all documents of the 20 documents can be up to 10 gig, if I'm not mistaken, right? That was the latest. So instructions and knowledge are super important. Okay, and then the capabilities is just feature sets that you want your GPTs to have. We're gonna look into all of these. So if you have any questions, bring them already on the chat, and I will tackle them all. Okay, cool. So we have a plan. We're in our building stage. Let's say, we have our instructions. We know the knowledge that we're gonna import or upload into our GPT, and we know the capabilities that the GPT should have. Awesome. So then after you build it, it's the simple test and iterate. Okay, you gotta keep testing it and iterating. My GPT Revenue Catalyst has been out there for since day one. and I get feedback now thanks to OpenAI. There's a button where you can give me feedback. So if you can give me feedback, that's awesome. I got a feedback the other day from Brian. So thank you very much, Brian, if you're here. And I was able to iterate on it. So because I missed that, that iteration, like I didn't think about that. And Brian used it for his own use case, and he was like, "Tim, can you do this?" I was like, "Oh, great. Okay, I'll implement that as well." So test and iterate. GPT is an ongoing process. Don't build it just once and then forget about it.